Hey, what's up, guys? Happy Thursday. It's your boy Sean from the Sean Experiment. All you travel lovers and love vets out there, I'm back with some cruise and travel news. So, first off, we're going to talk about some cancellations. Norwegian canceled cruises all the way through almost the end of April for some ships. Royal Caribbean has done some cancellations as well. The Bahamas has changed its testing requirements if you're going to visit the Bahamas, not necessarily on a cruise, but if you're going to fly in or come in and stay some other kind of way. They've changed it, then changed it back, then changed it again. So we'll talk about some details on that. And then one of my bucket list items, the world cruise. This thing touches like 1 million countries in 1 million different days, and it's like the coolest thing ever. And it leaves, and they say the night before, sorry, we're not going to any of those ports, and made some major changes to that. So I'm going to give you the scoop on that too. So let's get into it. All right, our first story is cancellations, of course. So far, we've been sort of avoiding cancellations. We've dealt with different itineraries, stops, changes, and other small things, but cruises have been going. And now they're starting to backtrack, and I'm scared. So first, let's talk about Norwegian, which had the most number of cancellations. I'm sure if you're on one of these ships, you've already gotten it, but if you're going to get on one or are planning on it, let me give you an update. I'm going to have to look at my notes here because there's a lot of ships. The Norwegian Getaway, the Norwegian Pearl, those are both just canceling the next couple cruises. The Norwegian Sky is canceling all cruises through February the 25th. So, a couple months there. The Pride of America, also February 26th. The Norwegian Jade is going through March the 3rd. So any cruises that were booked up until then are a no-go. The Norwegian Star is March the 19th. The Norwegian Sun, April the 19th. And finally, the Norwegian Spirit canceling all cruises through April 23rd, my birthday. Can't cruise on those ships with Norwegian. Now, not all Norwegian ships have canceled their itineraries. A lot of these seem to be European trips, although not all of them are. Lots of cancellations. So if you're on a ship, make sure you're checking with them to see what happened. Is yours still good? Will there be more cancellations? Probably. I don't know. I'm hoping not. So far, those are the only cancellations Norwegian has come out with. Although their website does lean towards saying there could be some future changes depending on the direction of COVID. This thing will just not go away, and it's driving me insane. So that's all you got. Now, if you've been on one of those cruises, or what Norwegian is doing is they are offering 100% refund to all passengers. Now, there's a bit of a difference. If you used a future cruise credit, they're also refunding that in the form of another future cruise credit and extending the date into next year. So you have another year in order to book your next cruise and go on your next cruise. If you just paid for the cruise, they're going to give you 100% of your money back. Now, the times are gone, I believe, that we used to get the offer of a future cruise credit plus 125% of what you paid. Now it's just, here's a refund, sorry. So don't expect anything crazy, but they are giving you your money back, which I would expect them to do. So good job, Norwegian. Now, Royal Caribbean also shared cancellation news, but unless you planned on flying to Hong Kong and getting on the spectrum of the seas, I think you're okay for now. Now, the interesting news about this cancellation is there was actually no positive cases on board. 9 passengers had said they came in close contact with somebody who did test positive. Now, All 9 of those people did test negative. However, they needed a couple more days in order to test, because we're seeing that it's coming on maybe 2-3 days after the initial infection. So they needed a couple days. So they're making them retest on January the 8th. Therefore, the cruise that left on January the 6th, which is today, got canceled. Yeah, no positive cases, and we're canceling cruises. Now, this is Hong Kong, so they're going to run by some different rules than we are here in the States. However, hopefully not a sign of things to come. So Royal Caribbean, outside of that, doing pretty well. No word yet about Carnival canceling any cruises, but I'm on a cruise January the 30th, and March the 17th, and April the 30th, and June the 3rd, and I got lots of cruises. My June the 3rd is on Norwegian, and it is in Europe. So no word yet if that's been canceled. I don't think it has been canceled. I don't think it will be canceled, but that's what I'm hoping. So my next one is just in 20 some odd days here on January the 30th on Carnival. I'm going to take you with me live on that ship, so really excited about that. And hopefully that one does not get canceled because I am dying to go. Now, some new travel news out of the Bahamas. Not necessarily cruise related, but travel related. A lot of people like to fly to the Bahamas for their beautiful beaches, delicious food, and fun environment. And being so close to Florida like I am, it is right there. I feel like we could just swim there, although we'd probably get ate by a shark on the way. The Bahamas said you have to have a test to come in. Okay, now we already knew that, but they did plan on having a more, stringent policy coming into December. That was announced back in December. Now, January says you have to have a antigen test or a PCR test if you are vaccinated, and they were going to go to only the PCR test, which is not the rapid test. They've backed off on that, so they're continuing to allow vaccinated guests to come into the country with either a PCR test or a rapid antigen test. Now, if you are unvaccinated and over the age of 12, they are requiring the non-rapid test, the PCR test. One takes a little bit longer to get your results back, but is more accurate. They still are letting you in the country though, which is great. A lot of countries say you gotta be vaccinated or you can't come at all. The Bahamas says we just need a test taken right before you get here. Now, they also changed something else. Prior to December, or actually just a couple days ago on Tuesday, this came out and said if you were staying over 4 nights, 5 days, you had to get a second test while you were in the Bahamas. Now, they have changed that and lowered that expectation. If you will be staying in the Bahamas for more than 48 hours, then you have to get a second test while you're there. Again, it was 5 days before. They talked about dropping it to 3, and now they've dropped it to 2. So if you are in the country, in the Bahamas for more than 48 hours, expect to get a second test in order to stay. Now, of course, if you test positive, you'll have to quarantine. The CDC right now is recommending at least a 5-day quarantine period and then a negative test and be allowed to come home. So if you plan on going to the Bahamas, be very aware of the policy. Know that if you are staying more than 2 days, you will have to take another test, and that could potentially interrupt you getting home because, of course, any of us can get COVID. It just is a fact. So if you're going to the Bahamas, double check, be careful. Into our last story, a crazy and weird last-minute overnight update to the World Cruise on the Regent 7 Seas leaving out of Miami. Now, this is one of my bucket list items. This is called the World Cruise for a reason. This thing is insane. I mean, so let me give you an idea on some of the places that it goes to. Now, this is the 2023 booking for next year, so they have not changed that one, of course, being a year out. But this is the itinerary. It's 143 nights. It leaves out of Miami. It eventually ends in Barcelona 143 nights later. The list of places is bananas. You literally go all over the world. I mean, you're going to, the Cayman Islands, the Caribbean, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Easter Island, French Polynesia, you're going to Tahiti, you're going to Bora Bora. I mean, you're going to Fiji, you're going to, the Coral Sea, you're going to Australia, Indonesia, South China. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And that's only, 20 stops in. It's insane. This world cruise is something you either are rich or you save your entire life for. To get a room on this ship, I mean, you're talking, $80,000 to $100,000 to get a room on this ship. Now, of course, it's a smaller ship, so we can get into some of the better ports. Only about 48,000 gross tons for the ship, which even the smaller cruise ships for Norwegian and Carnival and Royal are, in the 70s, maybe 70 to 80,000 gross tons. So it's half the size of that ship. It only carries about 700 passengers. So, naturally, it's a little more private of a setting. It's a smaller ship with maybe less amenities, but much higher quality amenities. So, I mean, you're eating really, really good. Of course, a very long cruise. It includes your drink package. It includes excursions. I mean, there's so many really cool things you can do on this world cruise. And here's the news that drops on them. Okay, so this cruise was set to leave yesterday, Wednesday, right? And on Tuesday night, literally the night before it leaves, they got a massive bomb dropped on them. Now, they got some options to get their money back and so on and so forth. But again, this is a life-changing cruise to me. I don't know about the people that are on it, but wow. You're going from this crazy, months and months and months of vacation to all these really exotic locations that are just mind-blowing. You'll never be able to fit all these trips into a lifetime. It's crazy. Into now a 4-part cruise that always leaves from Miami and comes back to Miami. So yeah, so kind of strange, right? So instead of just one big, huge, massive cruise that goes months and months and never stopping in the same port twice, now we're stopping in Miami a lot. So here's what it looks like. 4 different segments in this cruise. The first one, a 21-night Grand Caribbean voyage sailing round trip from Miami, leaving on January the 23rd. Then a 31-night Grand Caribbean voyage sailing round trip from Miami on February the 13th. Then a 25-night Amazon cruise sailing round trip from Miami on March the 16th. And then finally a 25-night Panama Canal journey leaving from Miami and ending in San Francisco. And that leaves on April the 10th. Now, they are offering a refund. Of course, if you don't want to go, full refund, you get all your money back. If you do want to go, you can take all 4 journeys sort of separately and together. And they'll give you a 30% refund. So I guess you're going to get cheaper, it's 90 grand. So you get, 30 grand back or something crazy. So, still pretty cool. Or you can take a piece of the vacation. You could take, 1 of them, 2 of them, 3 of them, and get a full refund for the 4th one, and you would still get a 15% refund. Now, I don't know about you, but that is Caribbean, Amazon, Panama, which is Caribbean basically. And then you end in San Francisco. So these stops are drastically different. They are really concentrated in the Caribbean and then around the States. You're not going to any of these really, really exotic locations, and they tell you with less than 24 hours notice. That stings a little bit. So the cruise industry, I'm sure, is doing the best they possibly can, and I can't say I would do better, so I'm not here to say, like, I would have done this better. But the truth is, that sucks. That sucks a lot. And I do plan on saving every little penny I can find on the street in a big, big, big bucket and hopefully get $90,000 worth of pennies. And when I'm 150 million years old, I'm going on this world cruise. It's going to be awesome. And I just hope that COVID is gone by then. It's, 150 million years from now. So we'll see. And then I get to go. So do you want to go on the world cruise? Is 143 nights on a cruise ship too many nights on a cruise ship? Or is it like just the right amount? I don't know, right? To me, it's like, I think kind of perfect, right? I love cruising, I love traveling. With so many stops, it'd be cool. But what do you think, right? Would you go on a world cruise? Are you going to the Bahamas anytime soon? And does that new news impact you in any kind of way? Or were you on one of the Norwegian or Royal Caribbean ships that had gotten canceled? If so, let's talk about it in the comments right here. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. You like the video, you share it. You'll keep getting the cruise news. I'll be going on some trips soon. I'll bring you with me. And I'm really excited to see you guys soon. But for now, it's Thursday. Peace out.